everyone, and welcome back to the Pro Body Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Melissa Prochuk, and this is
I am Janos Prochuk, the lovely husband.
We're changing intros here. Okay,
Yes.
It's changing up today. We have an exciting episode. These are some of the episodes that we love to listen to from other podcasts. So we thought today we would, give it to you guys, see if you love it, because it is something that just, especially for a Monday morning, we love listening to motivation like this. And what it's going to be about today is I'm going to be sharing 8 different quotes that truly motivate and inspire me personally. And Janos doesn't know what these quotes are, and he's going to respond to them. I'm going to also talk about why these 8 quotes really inspire me. And some have to do with fitness, some have to do with mindset, all different areas. So I'm really excited to share them today.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great pick-me-up episode. So if any of you are listening to this throughout the week as you're working, doing a workout, or if you're going for a walk, this is going to be something to set your week up for a win in terms of mindset. And again, I have no idea where this is going. This is just Mel's favorite quotes. So
to be honest, you probably know all of these because Janos and I have different quotes that we personally love. And in another episode, Janos will go over his quotes, but today it's me. And we talk about these quotes all the time. And it's just something that we always come back to. And Janos and I would say in the last few weeks, we've actually had a few moments of demotivation and feeling a bit off track with a lot of things in life. And we had to sit down and have a discussion recently where we were like, if nothing's going to change with what we're doing right now, we're going to stay in this rut and we need to change things. So this is why we come back to quotes like this. We come back to motivation, not because motivation is the only part of the recipe that gets you going, but it's good to have this kind of kick in the butt and then you go. And also hearing, you may know these quotes, but hearing them again and hearing the explanations from us, sometimes I know for myself when I hear other people talk about their quotes and why it inspires them, it really makes me see it in a different perspective and different light. So yeah, we hope today it really encourages you to go all in.
Yeah, let's get into it. What's your first quote?
First quote is something that I say, you will know this straight away, Janos. It's probably my favorite quote that I say all the time. And it's as simple as follow your plan, not your mood. Now,
what does that mean to you?
I love it because if you know me, I'm very much someone who always has a plan, always has my calendar sorted, and it allows me, not because I love being type A and I think I can only survive having a calendar, but it allows me on the days where I feel really demotivated, it's cold, it's winter, I don't really know what I'm doing. If I just look at my calendar or look at the to-do list or look at my plan that I need to do for the week, as long as I take action, I don't need to worry about my mood because my mood can easily take over my entire day. If I'm tired, if I'm exhausted from pregnancy, if I'm just not feeling it, if maybe a client said something that has stressed me out, like whatever it is, sometimes that can easily throw me off where I don't feel like doing the things I need to do. But then I just tell myself, follow the plan, not the mood. But before you jump in, because I know you have a lot to say about this too probably, this is the thing where most people go wrong is if you don't have a plan in place, you can't follow the plan. So your mood will take over. So it's really important to make sure you have a plan in the first place. And then if your mood isn't going well, you can follow the plan that you put in place before that.
Yeah, your mood cannot be the plan.
Yeah.
Like so many people, it's like, hey, I'm only going to train when I feel motivated, or I'm only going to be loving to my husband when I feel loving. And it's like, no, that's not a plan. That's just you following the mood. That's the complete opposite of that quote.
Yeah.
Where really it's about figuring out who you want to be. So like what we were just saying, right? We've been feeling down the last couple of weeks and we're just like, you know what? This weather hasn't been the best. It's winter here in Australia. And we haven't been liking the way that we've been feeling physically. I haven't been sleeping enough. And so then we sat down, we're like, you know what? We can just keep going the way we're going, but then we're just going to keep getting the same results we've been getting. So we took a moment to sit down and to just reflect and to just be like, all right, number one, I need to sleep more. Number two, so we came up with a bit of a game plan to get back to feeling our best again. And now we're sticking to that game plan, but hey, we've done it for a week and guess what? We still feel horrible.
Yeah, it takes a while.
And so it's about exactly what this quote is, right? So follow the plan, not your mood, because when you're motivated, maybe for a few days when you start a new fitness journey or you start trying to sleep better or you start anything, you're going to feel motivated for those first few days. But the thing is that results don't come in days, they come in weeks and months. And so we have to be committed to ourselves, like what we've just done, to commit to, okay, you know what? we're going to follow the plan, not our mood, knowing that it's going to take a few weeks of being in this routine. It's going to be hard. There's going to be workouts we're not going to like. I struggle to put myself to bed early because it's not that I can't sleep. It's not like people are like, oh, just take pills. No, it's not that I can't sleep. It's that I don't want to sleep.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to, because to me, sleeping is not relaxing. Sleeping is not refreshing. It's not recharging. I know people love sleep. I don't love sleep.
I already can't wait to go to bed tonight.
No, but for me, it's like sleep is not recharging. Sleep is the off button. It's like turning the Xbox off or the PlayStation off. So to me, I don't want to end my days. So it's something that I really struggle with. Plus, I don't really get tired at nighttime. So I've been trying to put my iPad on the other side of the room, so I don't go on my iPad. I try not to even read or do anything like that because my brain, no matter what I'm doing at nighttime, I don't want to sleep, so I'll be able to stay up. So it's more of a discipline for me, just deciding. And my plan was to tell Mel, hey Mel, tell me to come to bed with you, and I'm going to give you resistance. I'm going to want to stay up and watch a YouTube video or whatever it is.
It's good practice for our children one day because I'm like, Janosch, iPad down, leave it in the lounge room.
Yeah.
Come back to bed.
Yes. And so I was telling Mel that like the plan is I'm giving you permission, like bring me, like even if I'm like kicking, screaming into bed so that I can just put my head down and sleep. Because like I said, I don't struggle to sleep, but I know there's heaps of people out there like myself where it's more that I don't want to sleep.
Yeah.
But I know that I've been running on 4-hour, 5-hour sleeps for the last few weeks and it's been getting to me.
Well,
like it makes you tired. It makes you more anxious.
Yeah. I think before I go into my next quote, there's two types of clients that I have right now that I've been really pushing this quote to them. My first client is I obviously train female clients and a lot of them have menstrual cycles. And what I always tell them as well is a lot of the time when your period comes around, they want to obviously, slow down. They're like, oh, it's just not my week. I hate period week. I'll get back into it the week after. And I'm always encouraging them that yes, everyone has different menstrual cycles and experiences it differently. But what I've always noticed about clients who stop on period week and then go back into training for 3 weeks and then stop again, they always go, oh man, like I hate having to restart all the time. I wish I could just keep following through. And then being thankful that I did something instead of nothing the week after. So if you're feeling like you're someone who constantly, stops and starts, especially on menstrual cycle week, just know that as long as you keep following the plan, like do your workout, but maybe not as intense, follow your nutrition, but maybe add a chocolate bar in ahead of time, etc., you will feel so much better after by following the plan and looking back and going, I'm so glad I didn't follow my mood where it told me to slow down and do absolutely nothing. Another example is my pregnancy clients right now. I have a lot of clients who are pregnant who are currently either feeling anxious, and I totally understand this. If you know me, I know the anxiety that first trimester, even second trimester brings. I've had a few clients feel anxious and not want to train until they get to a certain point in pregnancy. Then they're like, oh, then I'll feel good if my OB says I can. I'm like, I totally understand that. However, when does the anxiety finish? Like you've got to go, I would hate to look back and go, oh, actually everything was fine in pregnancy and then I just didn't train at all. And I wish I just did it and didn't follow that mood of and that feeling of anxiety. I wish I just followed through because realistically, there's nothing you can do to help a child in the womb that much anyway.
Yeah.
So little examples like that, this quote can kind of really push you to do the things that you need to do.
Yeah. And it's what brings long-term satisfaction too.
Yeah.
Like when you try and relax before you do things that you know you should be doing, you're not really relaxing because it's in the back of your mind. My mum used to tell me this all the time, and I'm a master procrastinator.
Yeah.
But the older I've gotten now, I start to see the wisdom behind it because I fully understand that now, where it's like sometimes we joke about that we have like a 40-hour work week that we turn into like a 50, 60-hour work week.
Yes.
And it's not because we're hustling more or doing, we don't need to do that. It's just we're letting it drag on to being a 50-hour, 60-hour work week.
But that's usually when we don't have a plan in place.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah.
Is that we're not following the plan. We're following our mood. We're like, oh, no. Like sometimes I'll have a massive session of clients in the morning, for example, from like 5 a.m. till 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And then I'll go inside and I'll just sit down and just end up doom scrolling on my phone, even though I know there's other things I want to do. And then I'm not fully relaxing because I know that in the back of my mind, I'm like, Janosch, you got to go do this extra work. But I don't do that. I'm trying to relax because I'm justifying to myself, oh, but I'm feeling so tired now. I'm feeling so run down. Whereas if I had have just gotten up, made a quick coffee and then gotten straight into the next task, then when I'd be able to relax and it's actual relaxed time, I'd be able to fully switch off. Or instead, like if I'm honest with myself, I've been having 50, 60 hour work weeks, not because I'm hustling and doing extra work, but because I'm allowing, what should have taken me 40 hours worth of work, I'm allowing it to stretch open.
Well, a bad habit that we've picked up lately, and we realized this week, and you may have this bad habit as well, is we do work it makes you feel like you're doing work, but it's really procrastinating work. For example, like the other day, I was just deleting thousands of emails. It made me feel really productive, but I was like, this is not moving the needle forward at all. I will sometimes like meet up with friends and be like, oh no, this is time to meet up with friends, but I'm really thinking this is actually work time. I need to be doing work right now where, for example, we usually record this podcast on a Tuesday. It is currently Friday. I filled my gap on Tuesday, which I don't regret. I loved seeing this friend, but I knew...
It was Mel's fault.
It was my fault. But I was like, sorry, I'm going to see a friend that day. And I really took my time there too, where I was like, Tuesday's a work day. We have podcasts on that day, and I've just moved it to now where we have to do it on a Friday, which is not usually a part of our plan. And now other things have been pushed around, which is not the end of the world. That is the benefit of having your own business. However, it makes you feel more anxious when you're not following the plan that you need to, because then you feel like you're always working, you're always on. And that's why sometimes I think Janos struggles to fall asleep, and I have my struggles in my other areas, is because we constantly, if we don't follow the plan and we don't have a plan in place, our mood just feels so anxious because we're like, oh, there's so much to do. When do we stop? We could keep going because we don't have a 9 to 5 where we go home and that's it. It will continue to keep going. So I think that's why this quote is just so important to follow. But you first need that plan in place.
What's your second quote?
Okay, quote number 2. The barrier standing between you and the life you're capable of living is a lack of consistent execution.
Ooh, can you say that again?
The barrier standing between you and the life you're capable of living is a lack of consistent execution. So we're all in a place right now, and you may be listening and watching this right now going, I'm actually in the best place I've ever been, and I'm so happy for you. But if you're in a place right now where you're like, I'm working towards something, or maybe I feel a bit stuck, and I know, like we all have this kind of vision in ourselves, like I know in my heart, in my mind, I know what I'm truly capable of, and every year I feel like we get a step closer. But sometimes I'm like, I see that version of Melissa. I know what she can be, but I'm still over here. And the bridge between the version I am now and the version I want to be in the future, I just want to say though, that version of Melissa will keep growing and growing and growing. So I'll never really get there. But the bridge in between that is just about consistent execution, consistently doing the habits that I know I need to do, not monthly, not like here and there. It's every single day. And that's where a lot of our clients struggle to kind of comprehend this. They're like, why is this client getting a result and I'm not getting a result, Mel? And they kind of look at it as the coaching side of things, I feel. And I'm like, no. Every client knows exactly what habits they need to do. What's happening is when we motivate you, that's great. But what's happening on the outside? What's happening on the other 6 days? Maybe if you do BT, it's like, 6 days where we don't see you, or in between messages in that 24 hours, I can't see what's going on behind closed doors.
Or in between the calls. Like so many people, we talk to them, we motivate them. We've just spent, 30 minutes maybe on a phone call with them, motivating them, getting a new plan in place.
Yeah.
And then like what you're saying, the barrier is the lack of consistency, the lack of execution.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's not really a sad thing, but I was going to say that the sad thing is that the smartest person doesn't win.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like if anything,
I like where you're going
being
with this.
too smart can actually lead you to losing because you're too smart for your own good, that you're trying to perfect the plan and you're not even executing any plan.
Yes.
Whereas the person who is dumb, sometimes they're just so dumb and you're like, how are they winning? Mm-hmm. How are they building such an amazing business? How are they doing what they're doing and they're succeeding so well when they have no idea what they're doing? And it's because they're not held back by overthinking. Like they've just decided on a course, they created a basic plan, even though it's not the best plan, and they just executed more aggressively than you.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I remember having this in my, back in the day when I did judo, when I was fighting. Like I used to be handicapping myself where I would be fighting and I wasn't much of an aggressive person, if you know me, or if you know me now, I'm still not aggressive. But when I was fighting, like I'm fighting people who are being really aggressive to me and I was all about technique. Like I was just trying to get people by timing my techniques really well to throw them and doing all of that. And I remember my brother said to me, he's like, Janos, what are you doing? Like, you're so much stronger than these guys. Like, I was always really fit. I was able to do heaps of pull-ups, everything. And so I was not actually using my strength in my fights. I was just trying to beat them through technique. He's like, why don't you use the technique and use your power and your strength to throw these people instead of timing it and trying to get the perfect technique? And then I remember my judo just improved so much when I started to do that, because I was actually just holding myself back from the execution, because I was focusing too much on having the perfect technique, the perfect plan, and relying on the plan, where all I needed to do was execute aggressively.
Yeah.
And so sometimes when you look at some of the best football players, some of the best athletes, it's not that they're smart. Like, if anything, they're dumb. They're not smart. But they're smart in the sense that they work hard and they put the effort in, because they know that, okay, if I outwork everyone, even with the worst plan, if I do more work than them, I'm going to win anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. You've got to first know like where you're currently at and where you want to go. Because if you don't know what that end person is and what the habits they do, you're going to feel so lost, and you're like, well, how am I going to be consistent? Like, what do I need to be consistent and execute constantly every single day, right? I know for myself, I feel so lost and just not my best self when I'm not executing. And I hate that, because I'm like, as long as I am executing every single day the habits that I know will eventually get me to the best version of myself, I'm fine. I don't even know where the end date is. I'm actually okay in trusting the process, but it's hard to trust the process when you're kind of like, oh, like I'm doing this habit, but am I doing this for the right reasons? Like, what am I even doing this for? So for example, if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating in a calorie surplus and going out every night and not tracking your food, it's like you're consistently doing a habit. That's right. But it's not working you towards the end goal that you actually want. And then eventually you're going to get through like a few months down the track and be like, oh my goodness, it's not working for me. Why can't I reach those goals? And it's like, because you've been doing the wrong habits. You've been consistent and executed on the wrong habits. Like we all have habits. You may think, oh, I'm actually not executing on anything right now. You could be, consistently executing really lazy, bad habits, sleeping in, watching TV, missing workouts, whatever it is. Those are also habits as well. So just you need to reset that and go, okay, I need to change. I think of like our marathon for an example. And I remember there's the start of the marathon where it's so exciting. Everyone's cheering you on. The electricity of running over the Harbour Bridge is like, whoa. But then you get to the middle of the race where it's quiet. There's not many spectators there. This is where the true pain sets in. I remember thinking, I actually have no idea, because your watch kind of plays up a little bit. So you're not really sure what kilometer you're at some stages. And I remember just thinking, I have no idea what kilometer I'm at. I have no idea what even the course looks like and what if there's going to be a hill on the next turn, whatever. But all I know is I've done the training to get here. And as long as I just follow kilometer by kilometer and one step in front of the other, one breath in front of the other, each gel at 5 kilometers, like as long as I did those habits, I was like, I will eventually get there. And I had so much confidence knowing we definitely would get there. Do you know what I mean? As long as I just kept executing and didn't stop. And that's the thing with like any goal you're trying to achieve right now. That person you're trying to become just wants to tell you that if you stop stopping, you will eventually get there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that so many of us make too many goals at once and too many plans that are too complicated, and that's what causes us to have to freeze and to have inaction. Like for the last few weeks, we tried to simplify our goals and simplify our steps to make them easy.
Yep.
Where the main thing is, as long as you decide on a course of action, like the direction you want to go, just start going in that direction. And then once you get a better plan, start the better plan. Then once you have a better plan, start the better plan. So I love an analogy of this of like, all right, if I'm trying to get to a certain place, like for example, if I'm trying to go from where I am now in Sydney to Brisbane, all I need to do is know what direction Brisbane is and start in that direction. Now the plan right now, I have no idea how to get there. I'm just going to start walking. Then as I'm walking along the way, maybe I find a bike. All right, that's a better plan. Let me get on the bike. But I keep riding forwards. Then the next one, oh, you know what? A car would be faster. Why don't I get a car? And then as you get a better plan, you then execute on the better plan, but you keep going in the same direction that you're going in. So a lot of our clients, we do that with their nutrition, where they start overcomplicating everything to do with nutrition. And sometimes it's just about cutting it all back and just being like, hey, all you need to focus on is just calories. Just focus on calories. That's it. Don't overcomplicate anything else. Once you've mastered that, now let's focus on a protein target. Once you master that, now let's have a fiber target. And so you can start to increase the targets along the way. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with whatever your goals are right now, peel it back to like, what is the minimum version of achieving that goal? Start there and focus on execution. and then next week add something to it, and then focus on executing the new plan. And so anytime you find that there's a plan that's too complicated, you've gone too much. Peel it back and get momentum again.
Yeah, like why in life have we really overcomplicated everything? I think already about when we have our child, and in that first year of development, they develop so many things like every week, every month. And like there's all those milestones that babies achieve in that first year, which is just miraculous. But I think in that first week of its life, we're not going to try and teach it, okay, you got to try and eat, walk, crawl, do all the things, sleep perfectly. Like that's way too much and overcomplicated. Like there's all the courses you could do to, whatever it is. But realistically, it's just about doing one thing at a time. Like we're going to be like, okay, let's learn to hold your neck up first. Then let's see if you can hold your body weight up. Now let's see if they can crawl. Oh, wow, you can stand up and pull yourself up. Now it's going to go into walking. Like it's step by step, and it's just simplifying all of your habits and all of your goals and just being consistent with them. You know what I mean? Like we don't expect perfection from our child from day one. We will eventually, but it's like with us as adults, I think as we develop over time, and because we have so much access to so much information now with social media, etc., we feel like we need to do everything in one go. And it's like, just slow it down. If you constantly feel like you are giving up on your goals and you're not executing, it's probably because you've overwhelmed yourself with so many things, so many opinions. And it's like, just bring it back down to basics. Basics always wins.
Yeah, just get out of your brain, get out of your mind and into your body.
Next quote is something that Janos and I quote this a lot, but something that's definitely going to help us right now in like the season we're in. What you're not changing, you are choosing. I love this quote because sometimes which is rare, where I feel a bit down, I'm in a rut, etc., I look back on all of the habits I've been doing for the last few months that have led to this current moment, because it doesn't just happen overnight. It happens over time. Like you put on weight over time, you lose weight over time, you get stronger over time, etc. So what I'm not changing, if I'm not changing something, why am I expecting different results? I'm actually choosing to stay in this rut. So for example, Janos and I having this conversation recently where we're both like, hey, we're just both not feeling completely motivated. We've got so many things on our plate right now, which is all exciting things. But we were like, wow, like we can actually be honest to each other and say, this is quite overwhelming. And we look at our to-do list and we're like, which one do we start on first? And then we get so overwhelmed that we take a nap. Well, I do. So it's like, we had to go, okay, it's not just going to miraculously fix itself. Right now, I'm actually choosing, and I know it sounds really harsh, but we are choosing to stay in this rut with a overcomplicated to-do list that we keep adding to. What we actually need to do is change what's going on. We either need to change our routine. So last week, Janos was like, you need to get back into morning workouts because afternoon workouts are just not serving your mental health. And I was like, you know what? You're so right. Did I hate getting up this week? Yes. I'm still not perfect. So even this morning, my workout started at 6:30 instead of 5:30, but I'm still getting them done and I feel so much better. That was a change. If I didn't change that, I was choosing to stay in that rut of being like, I hate afternoon workouts. It's like, well, then change it if you can.
Yeah. You just like, remember that quote, like what's the definition of insanity?
What?
Well, doing the same thing, expecting a different result.
Oh, yes,
right?
exactly.
And so like so many people, so many of us, we get stuck in these ruts where we keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And then we complain about it saying, why am I not getting different results? It's like, we're being insane.
Yep.
And so it's the same thing with like what you were doing with your workouts, where you kept leaving them to the afternoon thinking you're going to have energy. And every single day you didn't have energy. And it's like, okay,
terrible.
Why don't you change the plan? And it's so obvious when you talk about it with somebody else, but we just can't see it sometimes for ourselves. So if you, as the listener, if you're hearing this, realizing there's an area of your life that you are not liking the results that you're getting in, why are you being insane? Like you keep repeating the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
It seems like this might be a good time to change.
Yeah, just start with one area first. So like there are many things right now I want to change in our life and just before baby comes, prep and get ready. But I was like, well, first thing is usually fixing ourselves first, because if I'm not in a good mental health
By the way,
space,
like, sorry, just interrupt you. Yeah. Don't do this in your head.
Yes,
like
talk.
No. Well, yeah, do that. But like, even when people talk, we forget what we talked about. Like get a whiteboard out.
Plan it out.
And
that's
then,
what we did.
Like draw the different areas that you're thinking about, concerned about, struggling with.
Yeah.
And then you will visually see it on the whiteboard and it won't be as overwhelming as you think. Because when you're talking about it and dialoguing, when you're not dialoguing and you just got it in your head and you're just trying to sort it out, you're like, oh, I'm just trying to figure it out. You can't figure it out because it's so confusing in your head. You're overwhelmed. So get it out of your head, write it on a whiteboard or on a piece of paper, and then start to write, okay, here's the problem, this is what I'm struggling with. And then for each problem, circle it and do a bit of a mind map and draw out a few solutions you can do.
Yeah.
And again, don't keep, like, your plan cannot be your current plan that you're doing right now, because if it's not working, it's not working.
It's not going to just miraculously change. And
You've
that's
gotta change
what,
it.
again, like you said, it's easier to tell other people to do certain things and change certain things. Like I can easily look at every single one of my clients' like calendars and everything like that, and I know exactly what they need to change. And as soon as I tell them, they're like, "Oh, that's right," but they need to execute on that. But that's another story. But when it's yourself, you can get so wrapped up in the overwhelm because you do keep it in your head, like Janusz said. And it's not until you put it down on a piece of paper, a whiteboard, talk about it with someone that you trust, and go, "Oh, it's actually not as big as I thought. I just need to get it out." But what really confuses us is when people are expecting different results when they go into a new year. They're like, "Oh, New Year's resolutions." I'm like, yeah, but like nothing's changed. You're not doing anything differently. So why are you expecting just to think your way into a different life? That doesn't work. You can't just be speaking to yourself in the mirror going, "I'm going to love my life." I'm like, no. Action beats all of this. You need to take action. You need to change something. Otherwise, you're choosing this life. If you are not liking something in your life right now, I'm sorry to say, but you are actually choosing to stay in that. And some of you might be thinking, you have no idea these circumstances, Mel, that I live in. I understand that too. But there's always something that you can change. Are we done with that quote?
I think so.
Okay, cool.
I like it.
Okay, next one is, this is a good kind of segue. Action is anxiety's greatest enemy.
Action is anxiety's greatest enemy.
So, I don't know if everyone's like me, but I only ever feel anxious when I'm not taking action on something. Probably why I really want to work through postpartum period as well is because I genuinely love taking action, doing work, always doing. Yes, I learned to, like, rest is also doing, but when I take action on the things that I know I need to be doing, my habits, etc., anxiety does not exist because I know that I have confidence in myself when I actually just do the thing I need to do. It's when you sit in that bubble and you're like, "Oh, what do I do? Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. Oh my goodness." It builds up and builds and builds and builds. And then you feel anxious and then you start to second guess yourself. And then something as small as, for example, us making a piece of content can become so overwhelming where it used to be so easy to do. It's like we build these anxieties up in our head when realistically, when you really think about it, life is actually pretty easy. We're not at war. Like, we haven't got that many bad things happening to us. Yes, some people do, but it's like, just, do the thing you need to do.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get out of your head.
Yeah.
Like, often the problem with like us as humans is that we just get so selfish and so wrapped up in our own minds and our own lives that we forget the grand scheme of like the universe, like how small we are as a country, how small we are as a planet, how small we are in the grand scheme of the universe. And so sometimes we just need to take a step back to get some breathing room and then to just look at whatever it is that you're anxious about and just realize, oh, you know what? That's actually small.
I think that's why I like travel so much, and also just getting out of our environment by going to a cafe or a library or something, because it makes you realize, like I was just really getting in my head because I was stuck in one small environment and it became so big where realistically the world, there's so much going on. There's so much going on in other people's lives as well that we have no idea about. And really, I saw this quote recently where it was like, if you were to throw all your problems in a hat, like all your anxieties, whatever it was, and would you, what was it? Like you would rather...
Well, if everyone's problems were thrown into a hat, would you want to risk putting your hand in there and grabbing someone else's?
Yeah, or would you just take yours back and go, I'll deal with this one?
Would you want your one because it's comfortable?
Most of the time, we take our own problems back. And even like the discussions Janusz and I have been having recently about like a few things that are on our plate that we have to...
And by the way, sorry, if you wouldn't take your own problems back and you're like, no, everybody else has life easier than me, then it might be a problem with the way that you're looking through the lens of your eyes right now.
Perspective.
And you're not actually seeing the struggles of everybody else. So maybe you're the type of person who's going and all you can speak about is your problems and you're never listening to what other people are going through. And so then you're a little bit too wrapped up in your own mind that you can't see anybody else's problems. So you think they're not going through anything and that's why you're like, nah, my problems are the worst. But if you're really honest with yourself, if you look around the grand scheme of not just your friends, I'm talking like the world, there is some serious issues and problems going on that other people have. And when you look at your own, you're like, I can deal with this.
Yeah, well, I think that as well sometimes. Like, perspective is everything. Like, think about when I can't be bothered to do a workout. There's someone in hospital right now that is paralyzed that wishes they could just use their legs. Like, there's someone in hospital right now with cancer with a few days to live where they would love to go out and just like take a deep breath in with this beautiful sunshine today. But we take it for granted. It's like, because we're stressed about, oh no, I've got a program to write. Like, it's like little things like that where perspective is so important in life. And it doesn't mean you can't have issues or anxieties and things that you need to get done. Of course, there is so much to get done in life to make sure that we're succeeding, etc. But peel it back a layer and go, to be honest, is this worth wasting a lot of my energy on? Or should I just take action and do it? Usually, all the things that are on my list right now that are making me anxious, if I just sit down and do it one by one and fight through that feeling of not wanting to do it, I will feel so much better. I love those days because I'm like, oh, it took me longer to feel anxious and procrastinate about it than it was to do the actual task. Actually, there's a trend on TikTok right now. This might not be on your algorithm, Janusz, but it is on mine, where these girls will be like, here are the 5 things that I've been procrastinating doing around the house for 6 months. Let's see how long it actually takes me. So for example, there was one girl who was like, I'm going to clean something on top of the cupboard. She was like, oh, this has been a year in the making. It took her 10 minutes. Someone wanted to order their passport, which I actually have to do. They wanted to do their passport. They've been like, oh, it's been, expired for 6 months. It took them whatever time. You know what I mean? It's like perspective and going, oh, I just need to take action. That's the only reason I feel anxious.
Yeah. A lot of the fear, we just got to remember that fear builds in the absence of action. So fear builds the longer that you're not doing something or you're not facing that fear. And so that's where when we're talking with our clients about fear of the scale weight,
yes,
it builds because you're not weighing yourself all the time and you're not starting to understand the way that the fluctuations go. If you have this fear, by the way, at the moment, I would highly recommend listening to our previous episode on weight fluctuations. So it might be episode 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that. But if you have a fear like the fear of the scale, so many people's solution is, oh, you know what? I'll just weigh myself less often. But then what happens is between the times they're weighing in, like weighing in once a week, you build so much more anxiety that you're like, oh, I'm scared now to step on it again. Or once a month, again, even more fear. So whatever you're scared of, the way to get rid of fear is through gradual exposure to the fear by facing the fear in small doses.
Yeah, I love that.
So if it's the fear of a task, a lot of the fear comes from the uncertainty of how long is this going to take me? The uncertainty of I'm not sure how to do it yet. The uncertainty of just not knowing what's going to happen when you commit yourself to the task. And it's funny because there's so many things that we procrastinate in life that the moment we start doing it, we're like, oh, that was way quicker than I thought.
Yeah, exposure therapy is so important. I love that you brought that up because I look back on anything I've ever felt anxious about in my life. And if I was to do them now, I don't feel anxious about them because I've done them so many times that I'm so confident in them that there's no way anxiety can build up. But if I hold back on, for example, doing work, doing content, not going to the gym, whatever it is, I build up this anxiety of but now the first one has to be amazing. And I feel overwhelmed and, I shouldn't have stopped. And, why did I do that? And you create these scenarios in your head that you don't really need to do. All you need to do is start again, but stop stopping. That's the real big thing is just keep doing it,
Yeah. It's just stop stopping and face the fear.
Yeah. Now, my next quote, number 5, if not now, then when? I love this quote because it's so simple. And some people can take it the other way and go, oh, well, if not now, I can always do it someday. You can achieve anything at any time, of course. However, life, you never know how life's going to look in the future. And I'm always telling myself, if I can do something now, why not do it? And why not do it now? We always plan for the future. We always go, oh, this year I'm going to lose weight. And it's why not just take action now? This year I'm going to build my business to this this certain income. Well, let's actually work towards it now instead of having it as a December goal. Let's make it a June goal. If you don't want to achieve something now, you've got to really ask yourself why. What's holding you back?
Yeah, I think a lot of people think, and it's just this false belief of if I do it later, it'll be easier later. Sometimes people think, oh, you know what, later I'll be able to do it better later.
Yeah.
Where a lot of things, if you're putting them off, they actually get harder the longer you wait.
Yeah.
For example, weight loss. If you're currently gaining weight, the longer you wait, the more weight you're going to have to wait. The more weight you're going to have to lose. It doesn't get easier. The older you get, again, it gets harder. You get more busy. You think you're going to have more time later in the future. But the reality is if you keep kicking things down the line to wait another week, another month, another year, you're going to keep stockpiling more and more things that you're putting off, that you're going to have less and less time over time because you're
Yeah.
not doing things.
Well, think about our podcast. Like, how long do we procrastinate that for? Years. And then we're just going to start. And we're so thankful. This is episode 27, I'm pretty sure. Yes, 27. And we're now 27 episodes in, where if we had just waited for the perfect moment, which never comes around, it's like, when would this have started? When would you have been, blessed with our wisdom through this year? Probably never. With our, the baby that I'm currently growing inside my uterus, it's like, I remember when we first had a miscarriage last year, my mind was very much like, nah, probably another 2 years where I'll mentally feel ready, where we actually did the work to mentally get ready. But I remember us talking about going, oh, do we feel ready to start even thinking about trying again, etc. And it's like, if we didn't, we wouldn't be blessed with this exact baby right now. And I know when we're holding this baby, it's going to be like, oh, like it wouldn't have been you. And you were the one that's meant for us. Like, it's just so crazy that if you don't make a choice and decision right now, your life could look so different. But if you do make a choice right now and a decision to change your life could look so different. Like, you can change your life at any moment. I don't know why we wait for New Year's, we wait for Mondays, we wait for the time to be perfect where we haven't got so much on. It's like, just start. Stop waiting to go on your weight loss journey when life is really quiet, because it never is. It's like, just go for it.
Yeah, you don't get fit
Yeah.
by doing fit things. Like, you get fit from deciding to be a fit person. Like, only fit people are fit. So the more that you're faking being fit, you're not going to get there. Like, you need to decide today, like, all right, you know what? I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be a type of person who has that type of physique. And so then by becoming the type of person who has that type of physique, then you're going to get it, because you're going to be the type of person who shows up and does the work, who does the workouts, who eats good foods, who's motivated, who wakes up in the morning. Like, you don't just wake up one day because you've decided and that's suddenly who you are. You need to decide today that, okay, you know what? I want that type of physique. I want that type of body. That's the type of person I want to be. And I'm going to make a commitment today to start doing those things, to start doing those actions.
Yeah, I love that. Next quote. Okay, number 6. The single greatest skill you can develop is the ability to stay in a great mood in the absence of things to be in a great mood about.
This is a good one.
This is a good one, because what it's pretty much saying is, it's easy to be in a good mood when the sun is shining, life is going really well, you're losing weight, whatever it is, you're achieving your goals. What's really hard is to learn how to be joyful and stay in a great mood and be positive when it's winter, it's raining, life isn't going your way, thing after thing keeps happening where you feel a bit like, woe is me. The ability to stay in a positive mood in those like seasons is really hard, but it's probably the best skill you can ever develop.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like, number one, they're just victim mentality.
Yeah.
And that's why they can't do this. But they don't realize that you're the one letting yourself get upset. Like, you're the one who's being offended. Like, it doesn't have to offend you. You're letting it offend you. You're letting it hurt you. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the other person's fault. It's not the world's fault. It's your fault. Mm-hmm. Like, you're the one choosing to be offended at everything. Like, we all know people who they allow themselves to just not be happy all the time, almost because they're not choosing to be happy, because they're allowing themselves to be so offended at every little thing that happens, and they're taking offense to it. Where really, a lot of the time, people are stuck in their own heads and they're not meaning to accidentally hurt you or say something short to you or something like that. Like, how many times have I accidentally said something short to you? And then it's like, I'm never meaning it to you. It's just that I'm stressed in my own world and I've accidentally hurt Mel. And then when Mel's in her offended moods, which she doesn't do all the time, but if she's being in an offendable mood, then she's going to take offense to my little comments or something like that. And now it's going to allow her to not feel good anymore because she's really allowed it to derail herself.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm never offended, by the way. No, jokes. What I like to remind myself of is, like, especially with this quote, is when you're going through a season of trial or things keep happening, or something as simple as it's raining, it's winter, it's cold, you're not feeling it. Those situations are going to happen whether you like it or not. So you might as well enjoy or try to be joyful in them. Why do we have to go through those seasons and be like, oh man, I'm only going to be happy when that sun is shining? I can have days like that, trust me, don't you worry. But I try to remind myself that, like, well, it is raining today, I could either just dwell in it and be like, oh, this is so depressing. I hate winter. I'm only a summer gal. I don't want to get my workouts done. I'm only going to get them done in spring and summer. That's the only time of year I'm really happy. And it's like, that's actually so sad to think about because we are responsible for our lives, and the life that we experience comes from the life that we focus on. And if you're focusing on the good and you're trying to focus on, yes, I may not have this right now, and maybe this bad thing has happened, and maybe just bad thing after bad thing keeps happening. However, I do still have some good. Like, think about the people who live in Africa and like those developing countries who can be so excited about finding a creek to get dirty water out of. And they're like, wow, guys, we have water today. I would hurl. I'd be like, ew, yuck. But because my perspective is very much like, oh, obviously I know what it's like to have healthy drinking water. I don't want this. But their perspective is like, as long as we have something to hydrate ourselves, we're happy. And I think, wow, like I don't think I'd be a very good motivational, inspirational person in Africa. I'd be like, yuck, it's hot, hate this, I'm getting burnt. Like I wouldn't be good. But it's learning to, no matter what happens, to be that joyful person. And I'm actually proud that people can look at us and like they'll say to us, you know, you guys, you know, persevere through hardships. Like look at last year. Yes, we had our moments in our weeks where we needed to really be depressed and sit in that. But we really fought through the days where we were sad. Like I remember I think it was one of my surgeries that I went into. Like I remember I was so grateful for the sandwich they gave me and it was so exciting. And I actually had the best time in there. They were giving me heated blankets. I was like, this is my favorite day. As much as it's sad, I actually had the best time because I was focusing on how great is it that all the nurses are being so kind to me? How great is it that I've got a husband that's waiting outside for me? Like all those little things where I was like, I could either have dwelled in that or I could have been joyful, which I chose to be.
Yeah. Happiness is just a choice.
Yeah.
Like it is just a choice to be happy, to be joyful, and to just choose to look at the good things that are happening in life. Or you can choose to, like we were saying, be offended, choose to be sad, choose to be, you know, all of those emotions. Like you can choose to be those things.
Yeah.
And even stuff like anxiety, it's kind of like a choice as well. Like kind of, all right? So like sometimes I'll be going and I'll realize when I'm in the car that I'm slightly late to somewhere. And I'll feel my heart rate go up. I'll feel like I'm rushing, like I'm trying to run out the door. You know, you might accidentally spill something because you're rushing and all of that. And then you just take a moment and you just slow down and you realize I don't have, like, yes, I'm late, but I don't have to feel anxious right now. Yeah. Like I'm choosing to feel this way. I'm choosing to act frantic. And then sometimes I'll slow down and release my grip on the steering wheel, slow down my breath and realize, oh, why don't I just be late without the anxiety?
Yeah, I've
like
seen those,
I don't need that.
That's a good point because I've seen these videos on TikTok where it's like remembering that your nervous system doesn't always have to be on edge, where this girl's like cleaning like, you know, the table in the kitchen and she's like cleaning really fast and anxious. And then she's like, wait a second, I can just slow down. Just take your time cleaning. Or we're brushing our hair really aggressively. And it's like, why am I brushing it like that? Just slow it down.
Or your teeth.
Yeah, like, and it's like, take your time. No wonder your gums are bleeding. Like you're annihilating your teeth. So it's like, yes, there are times to be rushed, but there are also times to be like, well, like nothing really bad is going to happen if you're late. I'm not saying to be late because I actually hate that.
No, so what we're talking about is the mindset.
The mindset, so, exactly right. If you can't change it.
Yeah, like you can be in a rush to go somewhere without having the feelings of being rushed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like release your shoulders, like just release the stress in your body.
Yeah, like I really want our children, when they're speaking with us, not to feel our anxiety. Like, for example, I can guarantee, like I've had a lot of friends who've had babies. We'll be going out the door one day in the future, I reckon, and the baby will just poop everywhere in the beautiful outfit that I got ready for it. And I'll be like, we're already late. Oh my goodness, I was looking at the bird. This baby has pooped. Oh my goodness, love you, but what the hell? We could either feel really anxious and get angry at our child. Our child doesn't know what's going on. It's not their fault. That they're a baby, they're supposed to do these things. It's like we can either go, oh, this is so annoying, or we can have a nice giggle and laugh about it and go, oh, okay, well, we're just going to be late now. We've accepted it. And I want our children to feel like they can just always come to us and not feel like we're going to be like, oh, like, you know, I've got too much on my plate. Like I'm already anxious. It's like, no, we can actually take the time to, you know, be joyful with them, even if like we're feeling anxious with work, etc.
Yeah, and it's the same with when you're going through your day. If you look at your calendar and you have back-to-back bookings in meetings and things like that, you don't have to be in a hurry. You don't have to be hurrying between them, frantic, like losing your minds. Like you can choose to be in control. Like whenever you feel yourself this week, feeling that anxiety, feeling that rushing kind of feeling, that hurrying feeling, just realize, oh, okay, you know what? Let me slow down a little bit, slow down my brain. I'm in a hurry. I've got back-to-back meetings, but that doesn't mean that I need to have that chaotic, frantic energy. Because if anything, it puts you off. It makes you think worse because you're not going to think better because you're hurrying. And you're going to make less mistakes when you're just being calm because you're not going to knock things over and all of that. And the reality is you still get out the door just as fast as when we think that by doing all of these frantic motions, we're doing fast things.
No,
but
you
really,
end up making mistakes.
Yeah, it's
you
not
drop
that much
a glass, you end up getting mascara on your eye and you're like, I've messed everything up now, like, because you're rushing.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. Quote 7. So our
You'll
second...
also buy back like 5 years of your life probably.
Yeah, I know, right? If you're already getting grey hairs, I'm not judging you. I don't. Not that I know of. It's probably because you're stressing. Sorry, you have grey hairs actually.
Yeah, they're coming through.
I'm like, if I stressed you out. Number 7 is if you had it all figured out today, there would be nothing to learn tomorrow. Enjoy being a work in progress. I like this one. And I've told a lot of people this one over the years because I'm always thinking about like, oh, I just want to know everything. I just want to have everything done. Like my to-do list, it never ends. And I'm sure if you're a mother or if like, you work full time, whatever it is, you're a uni student, you probably feel the exact same way where there's never a moment where you go, I'm actually done. I think the only time in my life I've ever felt, oh, there's actually nothing to do and I feel so content was the time between university and the end of HSC in that gap where it's like, I literally have nothing to do. But right now it's like, I actually always have things on my list that I have to get done. But guess what? Like if there was nothing to do tomorrow, I'd be really bored. If there was nothing to learn tomorrow, I'd be really bored. Enjoy actually working and being on the journey of getting towards something, right? Of learning something, of being someone, because we all get to that end goal and think, oh, then I can just be content and be the weight that I want to be at or be the person I want to be. Trust me, you're going to get there and go, well, what's the next goal? So you might as well enjoy the journey of getting there and enjoy going, oh, today I learned this, but in another week, I'm going to learn this, etc. Like it's always good to just keep focusing on progressing is actually a good thing. And we don't want to always be focusing on just that end goal.
And it's the only way to get long-term success too.
Yeah.
Like you cannot get to your destination without the journey to the destination. Like you have to go through the journey. Like that's the requirement of getting there.
Yeah.
And so the only people who are able to stick to, and if anything is worth doing, it usually takes a long time. It doesn't take like overnight. So it's like your physique, like your body. Like to have a healthy, strong body, it's not something you just do for a 12-week challenge and that's it, a 6-week challenge and you're done. Like that's not how it works because then you lose it. The only way to maintain it long term is to just enjoy the journey and to enjoy traveling, to enjoy just being in the process of working out, of eating healthy. Like you need to find enjoyment in those things.
Yeah. Like I look at for example, our marathon. I remember getting to the marathon day and just being like, oh, this isn't actually the exciting part. I genuinely enjoyed the journey from only being able to run 3 kilometers to then 42 kilometers. Like the journey of getting up early, increasing our kilometers, like actually going, oh, wow, we did a 3-hour run this morning before everyone else was up. That's insane. But like doing that journey, it was like when we got to the marathon day, I was like, oh, this is just like the cherry on top now. Like this is just like, let's finish it. Like that's cool. But the marathon was actually the training. I look at even like birth that way. And if you're a mom and you've gone through birth, don't laugh at me yet because I haven't gone through it. But this is how I look at it. All the progression and the things that I'm learning every single day in each week of pregnancy as it changes. Like my body is changing so rapidly right now. The changes in like, how I'm feeling, etc. All the stretches I'm doing, the pelvic floor work, the training in the gym, but even like what I'm learning to be a mom, like all the research we're doing, like as I get into birth, I'm going to look at that as like, wow, but like this is like the cherry on top day. This is the day we actually meet our baby. Like all the journey to get here was like the work and like that was so joyful and exciting. But this is it. Like I don't see the birth as like this big day where it's like, this is the hardest part. It's like, this is the best part. Yes, it's going to be hard. Don't come at me. I get it. But I'm actually excited for it. And when people say, oh, it's crazy, like you're excited for birth, I was so traumatized. I'm like, I think I'm just so excited because as long as I do the steps to get there and keep learning every single day and know that I'm never going to know everything. I never will. And no mum knows everything. I'll even go into birth not knowing everything and that's okay. Until I experience it, I won't know. But I'm so excited for it. And I just can't wait to meet our child. But that's not the only thing I'm focusing on right now. It's everything in the next 17 weeks that we're going to experience.
So with people who struggle to enjoy the journey, like how do you go about enjoying the journey, do you think?
Well, I think you've got to make sure that that end goal is something you actually want to work towards, because then it makes the habits that you do every day enjoyable. Like I actually wanted us to finish the marathon. Like that was such an exciting moment, and we'd visualize going, oh wow, imagine us going at the Opera House and going past that finish line. And we just happened to do it at the same time, like within a few minutes apart, which was so exciting. So when we were training, we'd enjoy getting up not always, but I'd enjoy getting up and going, wow, we actually just ran 2 hours. Like that's pretty cool.
See, I think it's a gratitude issue. I think people who struggle with the journey, I think that they're not very good at gratitude.
Okay,
right?
explain.
I don't think that they're good at looking at the progress they've made, because they're so fixated on the destination, which is good. You want to have a goal that you want to get. But if you're so fixated on only getting the goal and you're not looking back at how far you've gone, then you're not giving yourself the satisfaction of the progress from A to B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like when we were training from the marathon, the reason we were enjoying the journey of it was because we could see ourselves running further and further each week, and it getting easier and easier, and us getting further and hitting personal bests. And I think it's the exact same thing with the gym, where I noticed that it's a mindset thing with my clients, where the ones who are starting to enjoy the journey, not just the destination, are the ones who are celebrating themselves along the way. And they're like, wow, I've just lost 4 kilos. Wow, I've just lost 5 kilos. Wow, I just dropped under 100.
Yeah, they're only happy when they get to that goal weight. That's it.
Exactly. Whereas I've got clients who are not very good at enjoying the journey. They're like, oh, I just don't love exercise. Oh, I don't like dieting. I don't like this. I'm like, yeah, because you're not celebrating yourself when you lose 4 kilos. You're like, oh, but I've still got so much to lose. I'm not there yet. Or they're not celebrating themselves getting stronger in the gym. And of course they're not going to enjoy the gym because they're like, it just hurts. I'm just not a gym person. But if they were celebrating themselves and realizing how much muscle they're growing, if they're realizing how much stronger they are, how much heavier they can lift, like they can see the progression and they look back and have a look at how far they've come, then they would look ahead and be like, oh, okay, I'm excited. Like, look at the progression I've made.
What about your client Jackie this morning? So how old's Jackie? Around
I don't
roughly?
want to guess because she's also a female.
True. So Jackie,
I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah, she's beautiful, but she came to Janos because she was like, she didn't want to end up like her parents, correct? Or her dad, who's in his 90s.
Her dad passed away early, and he lost the function in his body to be able to be independent. Like he couldn't really walk easily, those types of things.
So her goal is thinking, when I'm 80, 90, like I want to make sure I'm able to do things for myself and walk. And I love that goal so much. And she said to us this morning, it was so cute. I was like, I just want to squeeze you. She was talking about, she was able to finally do a bench press with the barbell, correct?
Yes.
And when she first started, there was no way, like I think even 1 kilo dumbbells probably would have been hard for her. And she was telling us a story of how she realized by going to visit, I think maybe her sister or something, in the airplane, like putting the 7 kilo carry-on in the overhead locker things, she used to really struggle with that. And recently she did it and she sat down and she goes, oh, I didn't even think about how easy that was. And she realized it didn't even occur to her that it was hard to put the bag in the overhead locker. And she was like, look at me, I'm actually able to do that now. And I think when you focus on those little things, it's like she's not focusing on even a goal weight or anything like that. She's focusing on, this is lifelong. Like this is a journey that I'm never going to stop. And I'm just going to keep enjoying the little things that I keep getting and succeeding with over time. And I thought her perspective is what every single person needs in life.
And I love that with her, I just had a look at her age. So she's in her late 60s, like going into 70s. And she's just starting at that age. Just starting. And so she's actually lost, she's gone from like 75 kilos now down to like the mid 60s. And in that process, she's probably built around 5 kilos over the last few years together as well, where she's now more functional with her legs being able to do things. And she's realizing how much easier life is now because of that. And she's finding it easier to eat food and eat healthy food because her metabolism is starting to build now with the strength training we're doing.
And she went on safari in Africa.
The safari in Africa. She's got more grip strength in her hands to be able to. So she's having this gratitude of the journey. She still doesn't love exercise, by the way. She doesn't love it. It's still painful to her. It still hurts. She's got arthritis through her knee. So it still actually is physically painful, not just like some of you guys who you're painful because your muscles are burning. Like her, she's got physical pain in her knees. But she's doing it because she's looking back at where she was and where she is now. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm not at my goal weight yet, but I've lost a lot of weight. Like, I can see the progress. Oh, I'm not at my goal strength yet, but I can see that I can now go upstairs easily, like put things in the overhead lockers easily, bench press the bar, which is crazy for, most females, most women can't do that.
Oh, yeah,
and
so
she's in her
exciting.
late 60s just getting into training, and she's able to do that at her age.
Her perspective this morning, like, really, like, not shook me, but it made me just go, wow, like, I focus on like just massive things celebrating. And I was like, I need to also celebrate just the way Jackie is and just focus on every little thing. Like I'm growing a human. Like, that's insane. We went for a scan the other day and we actually saw the baby looking like a real human. Like, it was insane. It was kicking, it was moving around, put on such a good show for us. And I was like, I'm doing that when I'm, just doing absolutely nothing. Like, I'm doing and living my everyday life and I'm growing a human being inside of me. And like, that is actually miraculous that my body is doing that. And I'm so proud of it. And I never want to take that for granted. And I never want to be like, oh, it's going to be so good when the baby's here and I can finally feel good again. It's like, yes, those are great things. However, what a privilege it is to grow human life, and how incredible is it? And I'm never going to second guess my body again and be like, oh, my body's not capable of this, this, or this. My body's capable of anything if I'm able to grow human life.
Yeah, it's literally one of the best skills you can develop. Like the last point we were talking about staying happy, staying joyful. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
Is whatever you're doing in life, you need to turn around and look back at the progress you've made. Otherwise, you will sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, it's not working. I'm going to stop training. I don't like it. It's like, but it was working. You were getting really good results. It's just that you weren't acknowledging them or seeing them.
Yeah.
And that's why, like with our coaching app, you can track all of your stats. You can visually see all of the graphs. But it's funny that we still have clients that we have to screenshot the graph and send to them in
like,
the DMs.
you're doing great.
Because they're like, oh, I am
Terrible
losing weight. I
week.
didn't
Yeah.
realize. I'm like, yes.
What's really the reason, like our clients, if you're watching this right now, which I hope you are, or listening, is the reason we put at the top of your check-in form every week, what is a win that you've had this week and what is something you're grateful for before any other question, is because there is always something that you can celebrate, even from a bad week of, your nutrition, fitness, etc. There's always something to be celebrated. There's always something to be grateful for. I actually am shocked when clients write, and I hate this and I always challenge them. They're like, nothing this week. I'm like, wrong. I'm like, you better write back to me and say something, because there's always something in life that you can be grateful for. There's always something that there's a win. For example, you may have learned that you absolutely hate being in the position that you're currently in and you want to finally change. That's a massive win in itself, acknowledging that. So like, there's always something that you can find to be grateful for.
If you want like an exercise for this to help practice it as a family.
We do, Janos.
Yeah, you can, and we should do this actually. We don't do this.
Okay.
But we say grace before we eat dinner. But an exercise that I've seen people can do is go around the family table, and every person has to say one thing they're grateful for before you eat.
Yes.
That's one thing to do. Another way that I've done it in the past is, if you're having a shower, when you turn the water off, you have to mentally or even physically say it out loud, say something that you're grateful for that day before you're allowed to reach for your towel and put the towel on. And so what this does is it trains your brain to search for things that you're grateful for throughout the day.
Yeah, and look
because
for 'em.
if every time you do it, it's inconvenient, it's coming up at nighttime, your subconscious knows, oh, I better start gathering things that I'm grateful for and remembering them.
Evidence,
so that when I get to the dinner table, I can say it. Or so that when I get to the shower, I don't have to stand in the cold trying to think of something to say. Now, the shower one could be tough if you're not disciplined, because then you can't force yourself to do it, right? But if you are somebody who's disciplined, it's a good habit to have, because then every single shower you do, it's training your brain to think of something you're grateful for and to think positive thoughts, essentially.
Yeah.
But if you do the one at the table together, where you all have to say something that you're grateful for throughout your dinner meal or something like that, otherwise you're not allowed to leave the table, it's just going to train your entire family to search for the good in the days, to search for something funny, to search for something that's gone well, to search for something praiseworthy, laugh-worthy.
I like that. I think we'll definitely do that. I actually read in a book, it was years ago, that this is a completely different side of the spectrum here, but this dad would go around the table and ask his kids, what is something they failed at today? because he was teaching them that they need to fail in order to grow. Failure is actually a good thing. And if you're not trying, it means you won't fail at all. So you need to try things. And like he was trying to make sure that their kids were trialing new sports at lunchtime with their friends, or they were raising their hand in class even when they felt anxious to do it. Like they wanted them to fail so they could teach them to go, okay, what are we going to do from here, from this failure? Because failing is actually a good thing. Think about the gym. Failing in the gym, that's it. You only grow when your muscles fail in the gym. So it's like if you can teach yourself to be grateful, to focus on, failing being a good thing, and do that repeatedly as a family, what a great kind of habit to build.
And these are all just skills. These are all skills. Like if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'm not a grateful person, it's a skill. It just means you're not good at it yet. And the only way to get good at things is to practice it.
Yeah, you're good at the other side of things, but not.
Yeah,
You're good on the other end.
You're very good at seeing the negative.
Be negative. Now let's go to my last quote. That was a good one. Number 8 is make decisions from the perspective of who you want to become. So, for example, I am always telling my clients to think of their dream identity, the dream best version of whoever they are, the athlete. I always kind of remind them that they are athletes. What would the athlete version of you be doing? Would they be sleeping in? Pretend there's a documentary cast following you for the day. Would you sleep in and miss your workout? Probably not. You're probably going to get up and be like, woo, green juice time. Let's do this. Let's get my readings in. Let's drink some water before I have coffee. Let's get my workout done. Let's get that 10K steps in. Like you would already be showing up as that person. And that's what you need to do. If you're not the person you want to become right now, and you're like, oh, I wish I was that fit person at this weight, or I wish I was her, whatever it is. Maybe it's a past version that you used to be that you aren't anymore, that you want to go back to. What are the habits of that person, and already do it now. So for us, for example, I was saying to Yana, like over these last few weeks, obviously I'm pregnant, but that actually has nothing to do with any of it. My habits have just kind of fallen off the bandwagon lately, and I'm feeling quite overwhelmed, and I'm feeling like I'm actually becoming a procrastinator, which I'm usually not at all, which is hence building anxiety in me and making me feel like I can't take action on the most simple tasks that I always used to take. And I had to really notify that and go, oh, I acknowledge that this is the way I'm feeling. This is not the version of Melissa I love. And I actually feel a bit lost going, oh, I actually don't know how to act as this Melissa, because not that I'm being lazy, I'm just a bit lost and I don't have a plan in place right now. And I feel a bit like, I feel scattered and overwhelmed. It's actually okay to feel this way. And I'm really proud that I can acknowledge this and be honest about this with you guys, because I don't always have it together. But right now I'm like, okay, best version of Melissa. She does this, this, and this. I actually said to Janusz today, I went, hey, I actually want to block out an hour today to just read a self-development book, because I have not read anything for probably 8-9 months. And yes, we've been in pregnancy mode, all that kind of stuff in work. It's been really busy, but I have not fed myself with knowledge for a really long time. And I miss that. I have been filling my time with scrolling. I've been filling my time with like procrastinating and just building this anxiety up, and then feeling like, I don't know, like, you just don't feel your best self. So by changing those actions and showing up as your best self, I do feel like an imposter right now. I'm like, oh, like, how did I do this version of Melissa so easily before? But I'm only going to make it easier by showing up as her every single day.
Yeah. And I remember like when we were talking and you're like, oh, I'm just not feeling my best. Like, I'm just not feeling my most confident right now. I'm just not feeling like amazing. I'm not loving life right now. I remember like just saying,
well not loving, I love my life. Like, I'm so grateful to be pregnant, everything like that. But I'm also, he's saying,
But I remember like, it's just like, if anybody was living the same life you were living right now, they would feel the same. Mm-hmm. Like if you're feeling like you hate your job right now, for example, it doesn't mean that the job's the issue. It's your life right now, your lifestyle you're going through. Like you might love that exact same job if you showed up to it differently. And so this is where if anybody followed you with a movie, like if we made a movie out of your morning right now or your day right now, like if everyone in the theater would be bored and like it's just not motivational, it's because the things you're doing are boring. The things you're doing for your morning routine are not motivating you and they're boring to watch. And so no wonder you're feeling bored, demotivated, like just not loving life right now. It's because you have a boring life. It's not good. So if you want to feel differently, like we were saying before, you need to change the way you're showing up. So you need to wake up. You need to like enjoy life. Like put some music on in the morning, open the blinds, get some sunshine in, like make a nice cup of coffee, go for a morning walk or a morning run, like listen to something good on the way to work.
Yeah.
Open up a good book and read a good book again. And that's something that we realized was like, okay, you know what? We've been busy, we've been focusing on things, but we've allowed our brains to drift because we're not filling it with podcasts anymore, and we're not filling it with reading good books anymore. And if you know us, we're both massive readers, massive podcasters, and we haven't been doing those things. So if we want to feel motivated again, we can't just sit there wishing that we're feeling good again. We have to take action.
Yep.
We have to change our morning routines. We need to change the way we're showing up so that now if you video our morning, it's like, oh, now it's a bit more of a fun morning. Like this morning I put on some fun music. We had that. We had the coffee. We came outside. We saw the sky. Look at the sunrise. Like
Yeah, it's
do
beautiful.
things that motivate you and then show up to your work in a more positive way as well.
Yeah,
like
like
compliment people.
Yeah, you could, but
Be positive.
I find I can only, like, I'm usually that person. And that's why I feel like I felt so lost for the last few months, because I was like, not months, weeks. I was like, oh, giving compliments to people and being so positive and showing up for people is so natural to me, because I always was being the person I wanted to be and doing all the habits that I wanted to be. Like I was always showing up as her. But when I wasn't showing up as her and doing opposite habits where I was sleeping in, obviously I was tired from first trimester, but first trimester built the habit of me sleeping in, and I continued it into second trimester when I didn't really need it. And all these things would build on top of each other where I was like, who have I become? And then I didn't know how to show up for others because I wasn't even showing up for myself. So it really started with me going, I need to romanticize my life again, because I really truly do that most of the time. And I actually saw this thing on TikTok. Obviously I'm on TikTok a lot right now because I'm procrastinating. And
She's changing that.
I'm changing. It was these girls where they were like, we're pretending we're like in a, like in TV shows where you see friendship groups get together for breakfast in diners before they have work. And it's like, how do they have time to do that? Like, it's obviously a show and a movie, but these girls did it in the city in Sydney. They were like, we're just going to get together for breakfast before we all go to our corporate jobs. And I thought that is so cute. Obviously not sustainable, maybe, whatever it is, but it's
but that's the thing is that
we
it
can do
is,
that.
But we all think we want to sleep in. We think we want to do all of these lazy things, which feel good when you do it once. But when you make a lifestyle of being lazy, of not doing the things you want to do, then you're not going to feel good. Like we haven't gone to Wollongong in ages and done our Wollongong walk or anything like that. And it's like, why do we think we're going to be enjoying life right now if we're not doing things that are enjoyable?
Exactly.
So you can definitely do all of those things. Yes, it does take a bit of effort sometimes, but sometimes we forget how good we're going to feel when we get there.
It's when you stop doing the things. Like, I know people would be like, oh, yeah, wow, Jana Shamela, always so alive and happy, which we usually are. And it's not until and I always went, oh, that's just who we are. I didn't even realize it's because we show up as those people and do the habits every day of those people constantly. It's not until we stopped doing those habits that I'm like, oh, like we actually aren't just, we are positive people naturally, but we're better when we show up and do the habits. When we're not doing them, wow, we can really change our perspective. Like, I have been quite negative lately, and I'm like, it makes my job harder because I'm trying to be positive for my clients and encourage them. But then I'm like, I can't even encourage myself right now. And again, this may be hormonal, this may be pregnancy, exhaustion, whatever it is. But I can either sit in this, going back to another quote, what you're not changing, you're choosing. I can either choose to sit in this and go, okay, well, it's just pregnancy, and once I have this baby, I'll be positive again. Or I can do habits that I'm capable of doing right now to bring on positivity and to remind myself that life is joyful and I am the writer of my life. Like, I'm the author. Why am I not showing up for myself? Why am I waiting? What are we waiting for? Be joyful.
Yeah, and like we all, like it's again, like we all want to be lazy and sleep in and not go out on the weekend and not do
Not
these
me.
things.
No,
but then you're creating a boring life for yourself. So don't be surprised when you're demotivated. Like, it's not surprising. Like, anybody in your life would be demotivated.
Yeah.
So it's not you. You're not a special snowflake. It's just that the habits and routines you've gotten yourself into are just boring, demotivating things.
Well, one of my
and you just got to break out. And it's going to hurt a little bit. You know, getting to the gym. It's going to hurt a little bit. Waking up, it's going to be uncomfortable waking up earlier when you don't want to. But like, I've started running again with one of my friends. You might be seeing this on my stories. On a Thursday morning, I get up nice and early. We go to Mount Enon, the Botanical Gardens here in Sydney, and I'd go for runs. My friends from Poland are like, oh my gosh, there's like kangaroos and everything there when
Yeah.
you're going for runs. But it's beautiful. I love it.
It is
because
beautiful.
it fills me with energy. And then we're both doing this on a work day. It's Thursday morning. We finish that, we come home, and then we go to work. And do you know how much like it fills me with energy when I do
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
You think you would be more tired because I'm sacrificing sleep to do that before I have clients and before work. But no, it's the opposite. Like I am tired when I'm waking up in the moment. But then if you do it with a friend, if you do it with somebody else, it helps you to get out of bed and to meet somebody early in the
Yes.
morning, like your example with meeting like friends before you go to work. But just think about how much funner your life is going to be. Like it's something that's share worthy on Instagram. Like don't just live a boring life that nobody else would want to live. Like you need to
Yeah.
choose a life that you want to live. Otherwise, it's no surprise why you're demotivated, you're bored, you're unfit, you're unhealthy. It's because that's what you're doing. Like you're just living a bad life.
Well, even with one of my clients, like she works a 9 to 5, has to catch the train in, train back. Like it, to me, that sounds like a horror movie because I'm like, oh, that's so much time on a train, all these different things. But I understand that people, that's their job and that's so fine. I'm not saying I'm judging that. What I was telling her though was she was stuck in a rut of being like, oh, like, you know, I have no control over my life because most of it's stuck with travel and work. And I totally got that. I was like, I understand that could be really hard. However, why don't you get your workout done earlier in the morning on the Friday and when like reward yourself with that workout by after either like she loves coloring and she goes, I just haven't been coloring lately. I'm like, get your workout done so early that you have time to sit down with your actual homemade breakfast and color and then go, because on Friday she starts a little bit later. She can take the training later or something like that. Or celebrate by getting your workout done. And when you get to the office, you get to buy yourself a fun drink like a coffee or a chai latte, whatever it is, on those days where you look forward to it. Romanticize it. Go, if I get that workout done on a Friday morning, I get to have the coffee as I'm going into at my favorite cafe. And like she's been doing that and she loves it. And I'm like, it's just about finding the small things in life. I tell a lot of people when they ask me, what do you do for fun? And like, I could easily just say, you know, training and everything like that. But really, the thing I find fun in life is getting a coffee and going for a walk. That's genuinely when I feel my most happy. And it sounds so crazy.
And what has Mel not been doing the last few weeks when she's been
going
pregnant?
on my walks and getting coffee. And not that I have to get a
Right.
coffee on every walk, but it's those morning walks for me are so peaceful because they either involve me just walking alone by myself with my thoughts, which is so therapeutic and like so good for my mental health. I have my best ideas on those walks. Like when that sun is rising, I am rising. Or I listen to podcasts, or I listen to Taylor Swift, or I call a friend, or I voice memo some of my friends. Like that time, I have not had it at all. So I've had no podcast time recently. I've had no my time. I'm just filled with like constant thoughts of anxiety. And I'm like, I have to get my steps up. I put my watch on the other day for the first time in pregnancy. And I was like, I'm surely getting 10K steps, right? I was getting like 3K max. And I'm like, oh, I'm sitting down a lot. And I was like, okay, I can either go, gosh, Melissa, like, you know what? You're pregnant, relax. I could. Or I can just be like, okay, let's build that back up. Well, yesterday was my first day getting 10K, which is so exciting. But I had to actually go on a walk with a friend to be able to do that, to get me back into that cycle, to prove to myself I could do it. So it's just about going, what makes you feel good? And do it. Fit it into, I'm not saying every day, but fit it into some days of your week. Not just the weekend.
And if
the
you're
week.
already sitting there just like, no, you don't understand, I'm so busy. Like we just sat down yesterday and did a calendar audit. So we got the whiteboard out and we designed our dream week. So I would highly recommend that you guys do the same thing. Like design your dream week where we had our work schedule and we're like, okay, we're pretty much going to work, 9 to 5. That's the goal. So that's when we're going to do our admin work kind of things through the middle of the day. And then we're like, okay, so when are we going to do things to fit in our exercise, to fit in our runs, to fit in all the things that makes us feel alive? Like design your dream week, put it into your calendar and then aim to like live it. Like try and live it for a week, try and live it for 2 weeks. There's going to be things that get in the way. And if that happens, listen to last episode because that was all about how to pivot when life throws you curveballs, like how to change your plan. So listen to that episode because that'll help you with that as well. But it's just about designing a week and designing a lifestyle that you want to live. That would be like, you know what, that's a dream. Like, can I live that? Can I create that? And then create it and actually do it.
Yeah, no, I love that. Like right now, we highly suggest write a list down. Like write down what your actual calendar looks like right now. What's your current schedule? put in the times you actually have no control over. So obviously your work hours, etc. But around that, it's like, if I have control over these things, maybe it's only an hour of a day. Put something fun in there. It could be one thing a week. Like I said on my story this morning, I'm loving getting up early this week for my training, but you may not be able to do that in the morning, and that's okay. It could look as simple as getting up 30 minutes earlier than your children and having a hot cup of coffee in silence. Like it could be putting the washing on really early. It could be just reading the Bible or reading a book, or just like maybe scrolling on social media and that's your only time in the morning, but having that as your silent time for 30 minutes of watching funny videos, whatever it is, and then that's it. Like find your why, find your thing, your little thing that romanticizes your life, and do it.
But also get creative. Like don't immediately discount like, oh, that's my 9 to 5 work schedule. I can't control anything there.
Yeah.
Because you can control more than you think
Yeah.
if you're proactive. And if you don't just give in to the problems straight away. Like be a problem solver. Like I remember when I used to work in a hospital, there was no windows in the hospital at all. And so what I would do with my work schedule is like in the middle of the day when I couldn't, what I would do is I'd get out. I would have lunch and I'd go out and I'd go for a walk around the pond that was out the front there and get some steps in. Sometimes I'd go for a run. And yes, it was inconvenient because then I'd have to shower and whatnot, but there was a shower there. And so if I just decided to do it and didn't think and procrastinate and swipe on my phone, I actually had enough time to go for a run, to go for a walk, even have a shower after the run, and then get back into work again in my lunch break. And same thing with our friend who's a lawyer. Like most lawyers are renowned for like working super hard, right? But he just made a dedication that, you know what, I'm going to run on my lunch breaks. And so in Sydney, he would just put his running clothes on, go for a quick 20-minute, 30-minute run if it was a busy day. But he just decided, I'm going to make it a non-negotiable and not let work pile up into the middle. And he just ended up getting it done. So if you're sitting there thinking you're so busy, you always have to sacrifice lunches and things like that, just give it a go where you have the lunch break and you go for a walk, or you have the lunch break, go for a run, have a quick shower, get back into work, and you'll find you'll probably be more productive, if anything. Number 2 is you're going to enjoy the day way more, and you're just going to have so much more satisfaction. So don't just give up thinking, oh, I can only control before or after work. Like control your work hours as well. Like your boss will actually be thankful because you'll probably be a better person than the person who's just overworked, not controlling your lifestyle, not controlling how your work schedule is at work.
Yeah. No, I love that. Even like with us, like how we were saying before, we're turning our 60-hour work weeks into like 80, 100, which we don't need to be doing.
Yeah, we were the worst bosses to ourselves.
Right now, we are. And we're like doing work on the weekends for the first time. We're like, whoa, why am I program writing on a Sunday? And this week we're like, no, like today's Friday. Everything has to be done by tonight so we can enjoy this weekend and not feel like we have to be constantly on. And no wonder we feel burnout. We have not rested our minds at all because we are constantly thinking, oh, there's another thing I've got to do.
Yeah, we're just letting it spill over.
Yeah, and we take full responsibility for that. That is on us.
But it's that quote that you said before, right? Follow the plan, not your mood.
Yeah.
And so that's where we've just been allowing our mood of tiredness, feeling tired, do it tired. Like you can still write people's programs tired. Like we've got enough experience after doing this for like over 10 years now each.
Yeah.
Like we've got tons of experience to write programs, but we would just be like, nah, I'm too tired right now. Like I'll put it off. And then it comes to Saturday, Sunday. We're like, man, we've got to write these programs for Monday.
The
for
adrenaline day, you're like, I actually have to do it now.
So that's where we're letting, what would have been only, 3-4 hours of writing some programs. We're letting it stretch out over the entire week in the back of our brain to the point where we have to do it on the weekends. And now we're having to work 40, 50, 60-hour weeks, not because we have to, but because we're doing it because we're procrastinating.
Well, I'm allowing other people to control my calendar as well. Like I would usually say, no, I can't meet up on this day. Like this is the day we do this. And that's so fine. People understand that. We'll meet on another day. But I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll just meet up with you because I'm secretly going, I just can't face my list right now. And I'm just going to fill my time to make myself feel productive, but I'm not. So it's just about facing the fears that you have right now and just going, okay, let's write a massive to-do list. Like one of my goals today is to write the biggest to-do list ever of everything, share it with Janos and then go, okay, which one am I going to tackle first? What is necessary to get done by tonight? And then what am I going to tackle over the next few weeks and make a plan and just stick to it. That's it. Follow my plan, not my mood. Because my mood actually increases and improves when I'm just taking action. I'm my best self when I take action.
Yeah, it's
and that's
funny.
what I need to remind myself.
Mel's like shared with a few friends about how she's been feeling and things. And sometimes it's funny because like the advice they'll give is, oh, you're just being too structured, too uptight. Like you need to just be a little bit more relaxed.
I'm like, no, you don't know me
But then from the background, here's me going, no. she's feeling this way because
She's not.
she's not structured and she's lost her structure, and that's why she's feeling overwhelmed. So it's not because she's the type A personality of wanting to have control. It's because Mel has been out of control that she's feeling this way.
Yeah, I work, like, people are different. I work my best being in control. And yes, there are things in life you can't control.
I think that's everyone.
Yeah, when people
nobody
say,
feels
I
great
know,
out of
when people
control.
are like, oh, you don't try and control everything in life. I'm like, I'm not trying to say I can control everything in life, but that's a very lazy mentality to be like, just let things be and, whatever. I'm like, no. This is why you're not winning, because you're not taking control of the things you actually have control over. And the reason I feel this way right now and anxious and depressing and like I'm not motivated at all is because I'm acting like you. I'm allowing life to just go by. And I'm like, wow, we're already in July. I'm like, I haven't done half the things I want to do. Let's start going. Anyway, guys, should we end there?
I think so.
I loved today's episode. If you loved today's episode, you know what to do. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. Comment, share us on social media. We absolutely love it. And if you don't see us going to Wollongong in the next few weeks for our beach walks, remind us to go do that, because that's what makes us feel really great.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
No, just make a commitment to enjoy life.
Yeah,
Like
I like
life
that.
is good, and just it's worth enjoying. Like, we're not here to just work. Like, you can be effective, you can work, you can train hard, you can do all of those things, but look back at what you've done. Look back at your progress, enjoy your progress, and then just think of all of those good moments that have happened in each day. So at the dinner table, just be grateful. What made you laugh today? What made you joyful today? What made you smile? Like, think of those things, because life is amazing, but sometimes we just get so fixated on our problems that we can't enjoy it.
Amen. Well, guys, we hope you
live the Probity lifestyle.
Whoa, you changed it.
Yeah, just go live it.
Just live the Probity
lifestyle.
lifestyle.
See you guys.